Everything is evil in the beginning. And there was a time when the world was so young.
Rings of Power, Episode 4 Review. We begin with a dream sequence from Miriel about the prophecy of destruction of Numenor by the sea. It then moves to one of the men who attacked Halbrand, stoking discontent among the populace against Galadriel and Halbrand, which then gets diffused by Pharazôn, who shows he is a man of the people and they have nothing to fear from one elf in Numenor, and it will always be in human hands. Galadriel informs Miriel of her findings about Sauron and Halbrand being the king of the south, then asks for Numenor's aid to fight against the great foe in alliance of men and elves, which Miriel mocks as Numenor has taken another path. This infuriates Galadriel as she will not be denied. She undermines Miriel's authority, stating she will see the real king instead of her.
There is a tempest in me. It swept me to this island for a reason, and it will not be quelled by you, Regent.
Which gets her thrown in prison.
Don't tell me. Tavern brawl.
Sedition.
Isildur once again dreams of the land, calling his name, which this time causes him to make a mistake in his sea training, which the captain believes was on purpose. This gets him and his friends dismissed. Isildur gets in a fight with his friends, who call him a failure, who walks away from his problems. We move to the chained Arindir and the revered leader of the orcs, Adar, who puts an injured orc out of his pain, and the orcs seem to care more about their own kind than the Harfoots. Arindir and Adar talk that he wishes to be a god who can create, and tells Arindir he wants to send a message to the people in the watchtower to surrender. We move to the people in the watchtower who decided not to bring enough supplies with themselves for an extended stay for a possible siege, hiding from the orcs, and Bronwyn's son then suggests going back to the village to get some supplies, which Bronwyn is against, but goes anyway with his friend. They collect the supplies, but her son gets greedy and goes inside for more, while his friend runs off with what they have when it becomes overcast. He then gets attacked by an orc and defends himself with his vampire mystery box sword. He then runs and hides in a well as the orc tells the others in the village that a boy has the sword they are looking for and is hiding somewhere. To Eregion, and the dwarves are helping the elves to build Celebrimbor's forge. Elrond and Celebrimbor talk, and he mentions Durin is avoiding him or hiding something. Elrond is then in Khazad-dûm talking to Disa, wondering where Durin is. Disa plays off his wonderings as nothing, making jokes and excuses where he is. Elrond questions her story, but Disa keeps up the same story, which Elrond accepts but doubts it's the truth. He also takes note of a new song the children are singing. Durin and Disa conveniently have a conversation out in the open. Elrond then uses his elven ability to overhear about the old mine Durin has been in, which he then goes to check. He notices there's a hidden door and remembers the children's song, which is a code to open the door. Durin finds Elrond and accuses King Gil-galad of sending Elrond there to find out what they have been mining. Elrond does not care about what he has been mining, but that Durin has been keeping secrets from him, secrets of state which have nothing to do with their friendship. Durin then makes Elrond swear an oath before telling him anything, which Elrond then does. Durin then opens the mystery box from earlier, revealing a new ore that Disa found and is perilous to mine, that the Dwarf King is against them mining, but could bring a new age to the dwarves called Mithril. Durin lets Elrond keep the Mithril as a token of friendship, and the mine Durin was in before collapses, trapping 4 dwarves. To Galadriel and Halbrand in prison, as Halbrand once again schools Galadriel in politics and human nature, while insulting her stupidity, comparing her to a horse.
Much as I admire your habit of charging at every obstacle in your path like a colt in full gallop.
He identifies what got her sent to prison and where she should go to get what she wants, but to stop trying to convince him to leave Numenor. Pharazôn then turns up, informing Galadriel she will be under armed escort back to Elven lands tonight. Galadriel then overpowers 4 Numenorian guards easily, who seemingly just stumble into the cell without a fight and locks them in. As Halbrand then informs Pharazôn to let her go, as he knows where she is going. Galadriel is very proud of herself in this moment. Isildur talks to his sister about his dismissal, how he is a failure, brought shame to their name, and how he does not deserve to go to the west. Galadriel climbs up to the top of the tower where the king is, but finds Míriel also there, and sees the king is in no condition to rule. Galadriel shows some actual humility here for 5 seconds, but pushes on anyway with Míriel instead, asking why she is not loyal to the elves like her father. Míriel talks of her father and how she came to rule in his stead. Míriel then reveals the Palantir to Galadriel, who then sees a vision of Númenor's destruction by the sea. Galadriel states that not everything shown will come to pass, but Míriel says that the first part of the vision is Galadriel coming to Númenor, which is why she must leave. Galadriel argues her case.
I know what it is to be the only one. The only one who sees. The only one who knows. Perhaps neither of us have to bear that burden alone.
But Míriel says it's not enough to hang a kingdom on. Bronwyn finds out her son has not returned with his friend to the watchtower. Her son finally comes out of the well at night. The best time for orcs who have night vision.
What is it? What do you smell? Man flesh.
He plays hide and seek with the orcs until one finds him. Then Arindir conveniently saves him and is now fully armed after being released. They slow-mo run away from the orcs in a forest, and Arindir shows how great elves should be in a fight. Looking at you, his former companion. Bronwyn somehow finds them in the forest, and then they leave the forest, stop, turn around, and wait for the orcs to come, instead of continuing to run away, while still being in range of their archers. But wait! The sun comes out to stop the orcs from leaving the forest. Lucky for them, none of the orcs have the protective cloaks. They then turn to leave while being shot at. Arindir no longer seems to want to catch the arrows to protect them and use, as the orcs have been good shots so far. Disa sings a song to the stone to release the miners. Then Durin informs them all the miners have been rescued alive, but his father has closed the mine. Durin is furious at his father, but Elrond calms him down and convinces him to talk to his father. Durin then apologizes to his father and they have a heart-to-heart conversation. Durin then decides to go to Lindon with Elrond to find out the motives of King Gil-galad. Arindir tells Bronwyn he has a message from Adar. Bronwyn's son has a talk with the man who stole the sword from, who is loyal to Sauron and speaks of his return.
Have you heard of him, lad? Have you heard of Sauron?
Adar is informed that the sword is in the watchtower. Galadriel is being sent away as Míriel walks back to the palace, but then petals fall from the white tree and she thinks of the prophecy. Galadriel comes back. Míriel then states they will help the humans in the Southlands. They will have volunteers make up the army instead of the standing army, which Isildur puts his hand up for. She will also go with them and depart in 10 days. So, that was episode 4. We have a small good scene with Durin's father, but Prince Durin himself is shown to be very childish when told off for almost getting 4 dwarven miners and himself killed for ignoring the king's orders. He is also incredibly trusting of Elrond's Silvertongue, taking only a couple of words to bend to his will. I am not enjoying how they are portraying Isildur as a moping failure. Now, I will say I did enjoy Halbrand telling Galadriel some home truths and calling her a horse,
Cease comparing me to a horse.
and was probably the best part of the episode. But on the other hand, this is not how Galadriel should be. She has not shown any likable traits, even stating in this episode that she and Míriel are the only ones who say the truth. As for Arindir, where did he get the weapons from? Why did he go back to the village instead of the watchtower? And how did Bronwyn find them? If the elves are that good at fighting, catching arrows in midair, how did his commander die so easy in the last episode? So many questions. I would also like to point out The orcs' fear and hatred of the sunlight varies wildly. They don't seem to wear pants, so covering the top off will not stop the sunlight hitting them. Anyway, we are at the midpoint of the series, and I am not impressed. So, let's see if it picks up in the next episode.